The 1970s were a culinary crossroads, combining traditional family favorites with adventurous new recipes. Potlucks were hugely popular, and each gathering showcased dishes that were not only practical to make in large quantities, but also filled with flavor. Yet over time, many of these beloved recipes fell out of favor. Number 1, pineapple chicken. Pineapple chicken was a beloved potluck favorite in the 1970s, known for its unique mix of sweet and savory flavors. Inspired by the wave of Polynesian cuisine that became popular in the United States post-World War II, it featured tender chicken thighs marinated in a mixture of soy sauce and ginger, paired with chunks of pineapple. The dish provided an appealing blend of tangy sweetness and savory umami, making it both accessible and flavorful. It was easy to prepare, using mostly canned ingredients like pineapple, which added to its popularity at gatherings. The dish captured the laid-back, tropical vibes of the era and the emerging interest in global flavors. However, as American cuisine began to shift towards fresher ingredients and more complex recipes, the simple yet delicious pineapple chicken faded from the spotlight, remaining a nostalgic memory of potluck history. Number 2, JellO Salad. JellO Salad was a colorful staple of 70s potlucks, quite different from what we consider a salad today. It combined gelatin with fruits, nuts, and sometimes even vegetables like celery or carrots, resulting in a sweet, wobbly dish. Often it was mixed with whipped topping or cottage cheese to add creaminess and texture. The appeal of JellO Salad came from its affordability, ease of preparation, and eye-catching presentation. Vibrant molds in various shapes made it a creative addition to any spread. It represented a playful approach to cooking and was seen as a symbol of culinary sophistication for social gatherings. However, as preferences shifted toward fresh, natural ingredients in the 1980s and beyond, the once popular JellO Salad lost its allure. The dish now stands as a nostalgic reminder of an era when gelatin creations were at the height of potluck fashion. Number 3, Tuna Casserole. Tuna casserole was a quintessential comfort food of the 1970s, prized for its affordability and ease. Emerging during an era when canned goods and convenience foods were pantry staples, this casserole combined canned tuna, egg noodles, peas, and cream of mushroom soup into a creamy filling dish. The topping, crushed potato chips or breadcrumbs, added a crunchy contrast, making it both hearty and satisfying. It was an ideal choice for potlucks and family dinners because it could be made in large quantities and was relatively inexpensive. Tuna casserole represented the era's preference for simple one-dish meals that stretched a food budget while feeding a crowd. However, as tastes evolved and fresh, whole ingredients became more desirable. The popularity of processed casseroles like this one waned. Today it remains a nostalgic comfort food for some, but largely absent from modern potluck tables. Number 4, beef bourguignon. Beef bourguignon, a classic French dish, became surprisingly popular in 1970s American potluck culture, symbolizing culinary sophistication and global influence. Popularized by Julia Child's Mastering the Art of French Cooking, this dish featured slow-cooked beef braised in red wine, with added flavors from bacon, onions, mushrooms, and herbs. It offered a rich, deep flavor profile and a luxurious feel, setting it apart from simpler potluck dishes. The stew's ability to be prepared ahead of time made it practical for gatherings, and it often tasted better as the flavors developed over time. However, its elaborate preparation, requiring hours of slow simmering and attention to detail, eventually led to its decline in the fast-paced 1980s, as American households gravitated towards quick, easy-to-make meals. Despite this, beef bourguignon left a mark as a sophisticated potluck favorite that brought a touch of French culinary elegance to American tables. Number 5, Black Forest cake. Black Forest cake, known in Germany as Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte, became a popular potluck dessert in the 1970s, bringing a taste of European elegance to American gatherings. Composed of layers of moist chocolate sponge cake, sweetened whipped cream, and cherries soaked in kirsch, cherry brandy, it offered a blend of sweet, tart and rich flavors. The cake's presentation, typically decorated with whipped cream, cherries, and chocolate shavings, made it a striking centerpiece. Its introduction to American potlucks reflects the era's increasing interest in international recipes and decadent desserts. However, as tastes evolved toward lighter and simpler sweets in the 80s, this rich, multi-layered cake began to fade from the scene. While still beloved by some for its indulgent flavor and dramatic look, Black Forest cake has largely transitioned from an everyday potluck dish to a special occasion treat, often remembered as a symbol of 70s dessert sophistication. Number 6, Watergate Salad. Watergate Salad, a pastel green dessert side dish, became an iconic potluck addition in the 1970s. This no-bake creation combined instant pistachio pudding mix, crushed pineapple, often with juice for added sweetness, mini marshmallows, chopped walnuts, and a generous helping of whipped topping like Cool Whip. Its light, fluffy texture and sweet, nutty flavor profile made it a fun and easily prepared dish, ideal for large gatherings. The salad's origins are somewhat mysterious. Its name is often attributed either to the Watergate Hotel or to a marketing tactic capitalizing on the Watergate scandal, which was a major news event at the time. The dish embodied the era's love for convenience and instant ingredients, and its playful appearance quickly made it a potluck staple. The salad's blend of textures, the creaminess of the pudding mix and whipped topping, the chewiness of marshmallows and the crunch of walnuts, added to its appeal. However, as American palates shifted towards fresh, natural ingredients in the 80s and 90s, dishes heavily reliant on processed components like Watergate Salad began to decline. Today it remains a quirky, nostalgic memory for those who grew up in its heyday, occasionally reappearing at retro-themed parties or as a cherished family recipe. Number 7, fish sticks. Fish sticks emerged as a staple during the frozen food revolution of the 1950s and 60s, designed to make dinner preparation quick, affordable, and universally appealing. By the 1970s, these breaded, fried fillets of fish, often made from cod or haddocks, had found a firm place in American households, praised for their convenience and ability to please both adults and children alike. They were typically oven-baked or pan-fried, requiring minimal effort and time, which made them ideal for busy families or quick potluck contributions. The crispy breading and mild fish flavor made them especially popular with children, often served with ketchup, tartar sauce, or lemon wedges. Their development was driven by a desire to make fish more accessible, turning what was previously a fresh market product into an easy-to-store frozen option. Initially, they were marketed as a modern solution to meal planning, as frozen foods gained popularity due to their practicality. However, as the cultural shift towards healthier eating and fresh ingredients took hold in the 80s and 90s, processed convenience foods like fish sticks began to fall out of favor. Though still available today, they rarely make appearances at potlucks or gatherings and are now mostly associated with nostalgic comfort food or quick family dinners. Number 8, Pasta Primavera. Pasta Primavera, despite its Italian name, was an American creation from the mid-1970s, specifically from New York's famed Le Cirque restaurant. Its invention is often credited to restaurateur Sirio Macchioni and his team, inspired by the desire to introduce a fresh, vibrant pasta dish to American palates. Unlike the heavier meat-based pastas popular at the time, Pasta Primavera emphasized the natural flavors of vegetables like zucchini, bell peppers, broccoli, and tomatoes, sautéed lightly in olive oil and tossed with al dente pasta. Often garnished with grated Parmesan and fresh herbs, it stood out for its colorful presentation and light, refreshing taste, making it a revolutionary dish during an era when many pasta dishes were laden with rich, heavy sauces. Primavera, meaning spring in Italian, reflected the dish's use of seasonal vegetables, contributing to its fresh appeal. It quickly became a symbol of sophisticated, health-conscious dining and was embraced as a stylish potluck contribution. However, over time, as other pasta dishes and a broader variety of cuisines became mainstream, the popularity of Pasta Primavera at communal gatherings waned. Despite this, It remains a cherished recipe in many households today, representing the move towards lighter, vegetable-forward meals and a lasting piece of culinary history. Number 9. Musaka. Musaka, a layered Greek casserole, gained popularity in 1970s American potlucks for its rich flavors and unique Mediterranean flair. Traditionally composed of layers of sliced eggplant, spiced ground meat, often lamb or beef, and topped with a creamy bechamel sauce, this dish offered a comforting yet exotic twist to standard potluck fare. Each layer was packed with flavor. The eggplant was typically sautéed or roasted, and the meat seasoned with cinnamon, allspice, and tomatoes, bringing a warm aromatic depth. The crowning glory was the thick bechamel sauce, which baked to a golden custard-like top, adding a creamy contrast to the meat and vegetables beneath. Despite being complex and time-intensive, requiring each component to be cooked separately before assembling, Musaka was celebrated for its impressive presentation and comforting taste. It stood out among casseroles for its layered structure and use of bold Mediterranean spices, which made it a memorable dish at any gathering. However, as American potluck culture shifted towards quicker and more straightforward dishes, Musaka gradually faded from these gatherings, being replaced by simpler one-pan casseroles. Today, it remains a beloved classic for those who appreciate its rich flavors, representing the cross-cultural influences that began to shape American cuisine in the 1970s. Number 10. Cheese balls and logs. Cheese balls and logs were a quintessential party appetizer in the 1970s, adding flair to potlucks, holiday parties, and social gatherings. These savory snacks combined a base of cream cheese, mixed with shredded cheddar or other cheeses, seasoned with ingredients like garlic, Worcestershire sauce, or herbs. Green onions, spices, and even dried fruit were common add-ins, offering both flavor and texture variety. Once mixed, the cheese mixture was shaped into either a ball or log and then rolled in a coating of chopped nuts, fresh herbs, or sometimes even bacon, adding a decorative and crunchy outer layer. Their versatility and ease of preparation made cheese balls and logs a favorite choice, as they could be made ahead of time and paired with an array of crackers, breads, or vegetables. They presented well, serving as both a flavorful dish and an attractive table centerpiece, easily customizable for different tastes or festive themes. Despite their gradual disappearance from modern spreads in favor of more contemporary hors d'oeuvres, cheese balls and logs occasionally make a comeback, often seen at retro-themed parties or as a nostalgic nod to mid-century entertaining. Their lasting appeal is rooted in their creamy texture, bold flavors, and festive presentation, making them a cherished part of 1970s culinary culture. Number 11. Lemon Lime Poke Cake. Lemon lime poke cake was a vibrant dessert phenomenon in the 1970s, known for its bright flavors and unique preparation. The concept of a poke cake involved baking a simple cake, then poking holes throughout it while still warm. These holes were filled with lemon-lime-flavored JellO or sweetened condensed milk, which seeped into the cake, infusing it with moisture and a burst of citrus flavor. This method not only made the cake incredibly tender, but also added a colorful, marbled effect when sliced, making it visually appealing. The tangy combination of lemon and lime provided a refreshing contrast to the typical, richer cakes of the era, making it particularly popular at summer potlucks and picnics. Often topped with a whipped cream or pudding frosting, the cake was a crowd pleaser for those who enjoyed light and fruity desserts. The ease of preparation, thanks to boxed cake mixes and instant JellO, contributed to its widespread popularity during the decade. However, as dessert trends shifted towards more artisanal and less processed baked goods in the following decades, poke cakes like the lemon-lime variety began to decline in popularity, remaining a nostalgic treat rather than a potluck mainstay. Number 12. Scalloped Corn Casserole. Scalloped corn casserole was a comforting and classic side dish at 1970s potlucks, bringing together the sweetness of corn with a creamy, savory base. Typically, the dish involved combining canned or fresh corn with milk, eggs, and sometimes a bit of flour or cheese to bind the ingredients. This mixture was then poured into a casserole dish and topped with a buttery cracker or breadcrumb topping, creating a golden, crispy layer once baked. The dish had a gratin-like texture, with a creamy inside and a crunchy exterior, offering both comfort and flavor in every bite. Scalloped corn's origins trace back to New England cuisine, where scalloped referred to baking foods in a creamy sauce, often with a crispy topping. The simplicity of the ingredients and the ease of preparation made it an accessible and appealing choice for gatherings. It was also highly customizable, with families adding their own twists, such as diced bell peppers or bits of ham. As American palates evolved and gourmet and more varied side dishes became popular in the 80s and 90s, scalloped corn casserole fell out of favor. Despite this, it remains a cherished memory for those who recall its warm, homey presence at family gatherings and potlucks. Number 13, Scalloped Potato Casserole. Scalloped potato casserole was a beloved crowd-pleasing side dish at 70s potlucks, featuring layers of thinly sliced potatoes baked in a creamy sauce. The dish usually combined potatoes with a mixture of milk or cream, butter, onions, and often a bit of cheese for added flavor. The casserole was then baked until the potatoes were tender and the top was golden and slightly crispy. This slow baking allowed the flavors to meld, creating a rich and comforting texture that paired well with a variety of main courses. Its roots are in traditional French and American comfort cooking, making it a versatile side that could accompany everything from ham to roast beef. Scalloped potatoes were particularly favored for potlucks, not only for their comforting taste, but also for their portability. The dish could be prepared ahead, transported easily, and reheated if necessary. However, as American tastes evolved toward lighter and more health-conscious dishes in the 80s and 90s, the rich, heavy nature of scalloped potato casseroles led to their decline in popularity. Fresh vegetable sides, salads, and dishes with diverse flavors began to take over potluck tables, leaving scalloped potatoes to be more of a nostalgic dish, often reserved for holiday gatherings. Number 14, Butter-Baked Saltine Crackers. Butter-baked saltine crackers were a straightforward yet delicious appetizer that gained popularity in the 1970s. This simple snack took the plain saltine, a pantry staple, and elevated it to a savory treat by brushing the crackers with melted butter and baking them until crispy and golden. The process infused the crackers with a rich, buttery flavor, giving them a satisfying crunch that made them perfect for serving alongside soups, cheese, or dips. They also made an easy and affordable addition to any gathering, as they required minimal ingredients and preparation time. Originating from the tradition of using basic ingredients to create flavorful snacks, butter-baked saltines became a go-to appetizer for potlucks, family gatherings, and casual entertaining. The warm, crisp texture of the crackers contrasted nicely with various toppings, making them versatile and crowd-pleasing. However, as the 1980s and 90s saw the rise of more elaborate hors d'oeuvres, canapés, and gourmet dips, these simple crackers began to fall out of favor. While butter-baked saltines are less common today, they remain a nostalgic treat for those who recall their buttery, savory flavor and the ease with which they could transform an ordinary cracker into a tasty snack. Number 15, Cucumber Sandwiches. Cucumber sandwiches, rooted in British afternoon tea traditions, became a popular potluck item in the 1970s for their light, refreshing taste and elegant simplicity. Typically made with thinly sliced cucumbers layered on crustless white or whole grain bread, these delicate sandwiches often included a spread of cream cheese, butter, or mayonnaise, flavored with herbs like dill, chives, or mint. The result was a subtle combination of crisp cucumbers and creamy herbaceous fillings, offering a contrast to the richer, heavier dishes that usually dominated potluck spreads. Their appeal lay in their simplicity and sophistication. They were easy to assemble, offered a cooling palate cleanser, and were perfect finger food for social gatherings. The practice of serving cucumber sandwiches at potlucks added a touch of refinement, as they were often associated with tea parties and high society. Over time, however, as potluck offerings evolved toward more diverse and hearty fare, such as casseroles, meat dishes, and pasta salads, Cucumber sandwiches lost their place on the menu. Their delicate flavor and minimalist preparation, once prized, became overshadowed by bolder, more robust flavors, leaving them as a charming but somewhat forgotten element of mid-century entertaining, occasionally revived for themed parties or tea-time events.